Hey everybody, Stephen Bogan here from Pro Physique, and today I'm going to talk about my story.
My name is Steven, and this is our video about health and fitness things. And I work for Pro Physique, and I am just a guy with a fitness thing for you.
So hey everybody, I know it's kind of a different topic, but I figured why not, for those of you who don't know my story, talk about my fitness journey, kind of where I've come from, where I've started, where I hope to go, and how I've gotten there. Now, for those of you, and most of you probably don't know, unless you've gone way back and watched my I'm a Failure video, where I've come from. So let's talk a little bit about that. Me, as an individual, I was never really athletic. I wasn't an athlete. I didn't play sports. In fact, I played a lot of World of Warcraft and video games as a kid. So a lot of my life was quite sedentary. Now, I did have cardiovascular exercise because I rode my bike around a lot, but I'm about 5'10", 5'10 and a half, for those of you who are wondering. And when I graduated or dropped out of high school, I didn't graduate, I dropped out, I was about 135 pounds. I was not a muscular guy. I did not do a lot of activity. It wasn't something I was interested in. It wasn't me at that point in time. I was much more interested in playing music, partying, and having a good time. Now, that was probably me from, a little bit smaller in my teens, all the way into my lower 20s. I didn't really get into activity and working out. And I'm gonna post some pictures here so you can see kind of what I used to look like. And obviously a musician guy. That was what I cared about. That was what I wanted to do. I thought that my life would be music. So I didn't care about what I ate. I didn't care about what I drank. I drank a lot. And I had a good time and partied. And it wasn't until I got into my we'll probably say mid-20s. It was about 24 is when I actually got into a gym, bought a gym membership. The reason for me in getting a gym membership and starting to take care of myself a little bit more intentionally was because I got out of an engagement in a relationship. I looked at myself in the mirror and I was just like, ugh, I don't know if I would date me. I didn't have a lot of muscle. I was definitely a bit softer than what I was comfortable with or what I thought would be attractive. And so I'll be honest, a lot of my reasoning for getting into fitness and taking care of myself, it was being attractive. It was liking how I looked. It was very superficial. What I didn't realize is that would be probably one of the best things that could ever happen to me. And so even though I had this superficial reasoning for getting into fitness, what it ended up teaching me was a lot of really great life lessons. And so I got into fitness with one of my friends at the time that I knew from going to church when I was still going. And he was engaged and in a relationship as well. And we just started working out at Planet Fitness. And the nice thing is that it wasn't overbearing. I had a friend that was going through the process with me. We were trying to, pay attention to what we were eating and not, eat bad stuff, right? I didn't have that huge knowledge base. I was just starting to get into everything. That's how I started, and I started putting on some more muscle, and I started getting stronger. And next thing you know, my friend moved, and I changed gyms. So I changed from Planet Fitness, and I started working out at YouFit near me. And every so often I would hang out with my other friend at church who was kind of getting into this fitness stuff and getting stronger in performance. And I was like, all right, cool. Well, this is getting fun. I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying all the changes that I'm making. I'd also started my undergraduate stuff then. I was just going to community college, getting my associate's degree done, but trying to figure out what I really liked. My friend at this point was like, hey, you know what, man? I think I'm going to do a bodybuilding show. There's this newer category, men's physique. It had only been out about a year at that point. I think that you would do well in it, and I think I would do well in it. It's supposed to be catered towards the natural athlete. Cool. And so we decided to get into bodybuilding and competitive bodybuilding and do men's physique. And so again, I still didn't know that much. This is when I started getting a little bit more into everything. I went to a couple posing seminars, and I'm just kind of getting my feet wet, and I did my first show, which you can see that picture here. Now, this is me at my first show. I was lean, but I didn't have a lot of muscle. I did not do well. I placed 17th, which was dead last. Yes, they placed me up to 17th. That just made me really mad. And my first prep, guess what? It was a meal plan. It was very old school. It was kind of bro, but it's what got me into it. And it's honestly what made me start asking the questions of, can I do this better? Is there another way to do this? And that's when I started getting into Lane Norton and Paul and following a lot of the people that I follow now and saying, hey, the answer seems to be yes. And that is what inspired me to go into exercise science as my major for undergraduate, because I didn't have one at that point. I had to apply to the program, take some extra classes, and get accepted and start going to USF. Of course, USF is where I started really getting things in check a bit more. I was moving to macros now, so I was still counting, I was still doing my things, I was prepping with the different coaches I got into USF, but I was still doing a lot of things that were, I don't know, I guess very bro in nature. To meet my macros, I would take loaves of bread around with me, and I would just eat bread and I would drink water to help it go down because that was easy for me, and I would just have a bunch of chicken and rice and stuff cooked up. And so as I started putting on more muscle, I started feeling a little bit better, I started getting stronger, I started learning more. I met Paul at this point, and I started learning how to peak a little bit better and how to treat athletes a little bit better for the stage. Because here's my second season, right? Ba-da-da-ba-ba. As you can see, a bit more muscle, conditioning not where I would want it to be, but still learning, getting better, making progress over time. Now, as we're fast forwarding through, we're going to go to graduate school. And so now I have a really good grasp on everything. I'm working with a different coach simply because I didn't want to do my own stuff. I didn't want to be in charge of it. And I have Chris Guy doing my programming because now not only am I doing bodybuilding, I'm also doing powerlifting with it. So I think this was the year where I first pulled a 600-pound deadlift for the first time in competition. I think it was about 6 weeks out from my bodybuilding show. Not necessarily something I would recommend doing, but nonetheless that I did. And it was a lot of fun. And this was a year where I went pro as a natural bodybuilder in the NGA. And I'll post some of my pictures from here. And if I have video, some of my videos of powerlifting stuff. And after this, I just kind of decided that, like, I'm in it. I'm here, this is my lifestyle, this is kind of who I am now. And throughout all that time, I don't think I had realized that who I was and who I saw myself as was changing. I just was kind of going along with these goals that I had and things that I felt like I wanted to do that I thought would make my life better. And that did absolutely make my life better. And so now at this point, I see myself as a bodybuilder. I am a bodybuilder. I am an athlete. So now I don't have to, it doesn't take me so much effort. I don't think so much about everything, I just do. It's kind of second nature. But it took a good 5 years for that to be the case, for it to be the case where, hey, now I'm comfortable with this. Now I see myself as this person. And not to say that I was off or unhealthy or anything crazy like that, because I don't know that that was necessarily the case. I definitely wasn't overweight. I definitely wasn't healthy. I used to smoke and drink a lot, and those have their own things and considerations and dangers. But, it was still this weird kind of contextual thing where when I started seeing myself as a person who does these things, I didn't have to make the decisions to go to the gym or to pick the food choices that I pick or to track when I'm getting ready for a show. They became natural, they become second nature. As I continued on throughout my journey, I did some more powerlifting, so I have more pictures, of course, and I have maybe some video if I can find it. And if not, sorry. And then even jiu-jitsu. I got into jiu-jitsu after my last show because of the fact that I wanted something else to keep me active without having to do cardio or do traditional cardio. So jiu-jitsu was my kind of go-to. So I've been reasonably successful in most of my endeavors, and I think it's just because I really invest myself in them. So I just thought it might be interesting to share a little bit of my story of the fitness stuff, at least with you guys, so that you'll get to know me a little bit more. Maybe some of you find some motivation or find something in there that helps you to relate and get you involved. But yeah, I mean, remember, I think for a lot of people, they just look at individuals in the fitness industry and say they've always been like that, or yeah, that's just who they are. But remember, we haven't always been like that. It hasn't always been who we are, at least for the vast majority of us. So don't sell yourself short. Remember, that can be you too. It's just time and consistency and kind of feeling your way out and getting into it over time. So, all right, I'm gonna leave it there. It's already a longer video than normal. I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for listening.